said I'm the Director of Counseling Services for Whitehouse, and Whitehouse ISD has close to 5,000 students from pre-K through 12th grade. And I lead professional school counselors. We have 12 in the district. And then I also have 4 social and emotional learning counselors who are licensed professional counselor associates. I'm a licensed professional counselor supervisor, so I actually supervise them. And also have anywhere from 5 to 8 interns out of the Clinical Mental Health Master's Program from UT Tyler every semester. So we have anywhere from 5 to 8 that I supervise as well. So I'm responsible also for the management and all the quality, any guidance, prevention, intervention, and crisis management services provided in the district. And then I closely monitor the counselors, and we design and implement the developmental guidance and counseling plan, which is a very thorough plan for all of the many diverse students that we have in our district. This is our 3rd year that, we've always had school counselors, but this is the 3rd year for the intern program. And our superintendent, actually, I was in Tyler ISD at the time, and the superintendent, he had a vision for it. And I interviewed, and I started the program 3 years ago, and it has been amazing. It's been great. Well, I actually have been in public education for 27 years. I taught for 5 years, and then I got my master's in school counseling. Actually, I got my principal certification. I have a principal certification as well, and a master's in school counseling. And I was a school counselor in schools for 14 years. And then I was the Director of Counseling Services for 5 years in Tyler ISD. And like I said, this is my 3rd year in Whitehouse as the director. Well, I'll tell you that I actually really kind of look back to my life. And, when I really wanted to get my master's, and I kind of went the direction of principal, and I changed in the middle of my first thing because of my own parents were married for 20 years, and they got a divorce when I was 14. And I just it impacted me a lot. And I had a counselor that just really helped me through that and was there for me, just very supportive. And that's what I want to do for people. And that's what I've chosen to do in life, is to help people. And I think it's just from what I went through as a child. Well, I absolutely love helping people, being there for people. I love all ages of children, and actually all ages of people in general. So that's what I love about it. I love helping. And I love, now that I've been in it so long and I'm able to train counselors, supervise, help them through situations. That's an interesting question, because I literally deal with many, many things every day. Whatever comes my way. So every day looks very different with situations. Just for some examples, like I consult 1 hour a week with each of my interns and sit and we go through every student that they're counseling. I plan needed programs in the district to meet federal and state laws, state Board of Education rules, and board policies in the counseling area. And also I attend many meetings. Of course, we're in an academic setting, and I attend meetings that have anything to do with mental health. And I work with many different people inside and outside of the district to also just meet the mental health needs of our district. Well, I will tell you that there are a lot of different ones. We have a lot of needs. We provide prevention curriculum and counseling to help students with family issues, divorce, blended families, family transitions, any friend issues, social media, which has had a big impact on mental health in the last several years. Just students wanting to fit in, having a sense of belonging where they fit. Peer pressure, just traumatic events that have happened in their lives, grieving, bullying, stress, anxiety, depression, self-harm, also suicide ideation, pandemic stress, and then there's many, many more, just what comes our way. Because if these issues are not worked through, they can cause severe anxiety, depression, loss of hope for kids, eating disorders, and also substance abuse. It has been very different. It really has. Like I said, I've been in counseling for a long time. We actually started our intern program where we actually had, the intern program, we had it for 2 years before we were actually hired the SELs. But the semester literally that we started it, in the fall, that's when we actually shut down for COVID that spring. I just feel so fortunate to have had that because we were able to counsel and have, the number of counselors, the students virtually when we shut down. Mm-hmm. And of course, the COVID pandemic resulted in youth experiencing increased anxiety, depression, and just feelings of isolation. And then just the unknown was just very scary. So we've seen a big increase in the number of students needing counseling through the pandemic. There is an increased strain, and it is felt. I just talk about self-care quite a bit. Self-care is so important for providers, people dealing with this. Also, I just try to be there for my people a lot and talk through them and just let them know they're rock stars. They're handling situations that are new to them as well, because everything with the pandemic is new. And for people out there, like you said, how can you help? Just be supportive and know that, mental health it's real. And there is a stigma behind it that I feel like is getting better, but it's still there. But just like with physical health, if someone's dealing with physical, we literally get the help. But mental health, sometimes it's frowned upon in certain situations, but just to be open and also check on people. See how they're doing, ask them how they're doing. Our nation is in a mental health crisis. And of course, we feel that definitely in the schools. Of course, it's been a very busy year with a lot of mental health needs from students. And I just, people need to realize that outside of the student's home, schools are the most likely place where mental health concerns will be detected. And that the earlier mental health concerns are detected and addressed, the more likely a student is to avoid the onset or actually the progression of the mental health illness. Many times there's signs of deteriorating mental health and they're noticeable before any illness even emerges at all. So, one thing is just for people to support the legislation that's out there. There are new health and PE TEKS that have been put out by Texas, and first time ever in 2022-23 school year, the health and PE TEKS will be taught in schools, and there's actually mental health TEKS. And we've never had mental health TEKS before. We've just had a developmental guidance and counseling plan. So there are also things like in a Senate Bill 9, that are violence prevention, suicide prevention, things like that are taught. And parents do have the option to opt their kids into these, but these things are being talked about at school by kids and stuff. So a lot of times if we get the proper instruction from the people who are actually delivering it, I think that's very good. And in our district, we're going to deliver all of the mental health information through our counselors. I'd like to add that, just with data from the Meadows Foundation that is estimating that approximately 500,000 youth in Texas experience diagnostic mental, behavioral, and emotional disorders each year, it's just very important that schools have the mental health counselors available to help. And the more counselors there available who are trained to help with these things, the better. That's why I feel so fortunate that in Whitehouse ISD, we have our counseling mental health services to help these students who are dealing with all these issues. And they're on campus. Students don't have to leave school, miss, extra time going for services. Yeah. And also there's usually a long waiting list for counseling services outside of school, and it's very expensive. And we are able to offer that in school to families at no cost.